Okay, yes.
My name is Jenny Sands, and I live in Rising Pond, and I want to thank you for being here today. I also agree with you completely that that jobs and the economy are our biggest priority. I'm retired, I don't have one, don't need one, but for the economy to survive, we need the jobs. But I completely disagree with you that jobs are a zero-sum game, and that if we start drastically cutting back on the government, that those jobs miraculously appear in the private sector. You and I are both too young to remember President Hoover, but if you, 21% of the people in Dade County work for the government, not necessarily federal, but the government. If the government, and we do need to cut spending, I agree with that, but if we start slashing, decimating the government, laying off government workers, cutting government contracts, that affects the spending. It also affects businesses like Lockheed who rely on those government contracts. And my question is, there is a question in here, how do you cut the spending in a way that does not destabilize, it does not kill so many jobs that are dependent on government spending, so that sends us into a spiraling recession, depression?
Well, thank you. That's a very fair question, and I respect your position on that. The way I view it is quite simple. In order for government to pay, whether it be an employer or a contractor, they have to take from somewhere. And where they're taking from are the job creators right now in the private sector. They're taking from the small business owners and the middle-income families. And we've seen that clearly. Statistically, that's what's happening. The wealth is shifting from one sector to another sector. And so, I'd rather see the private sector expand. It's quicker, it's more nimble, it's more flexible, and I'm a free market capitalist. So I just believe that we've got to move forward.
Much of my savings are in the stock market, and it certainly hasn't been a good week this week.
I understand it, and partly so, and this is where I really know where you're coming from on this and understand it. We saw over the past couple of years an effort to create more jobs with government spending, and it was with the stimuluses and with the bailouts and with the cash for clunkers, all those various programs. I think they had great intentions. They had the best intentions. No one ever meant for the economy to turn sour like it did. But that's Keynesian economics, and it doesn't work, and historically it's never worked. And so that's why I'm just not a proponent of government spending to create jobs, because economic theory is not working in a free market environment. It only works in a controlled environment.
I'll let somebody else have another turn, but I would like to point out that General Motors is now extremely profitable, and without the bailout money, we would have lost the automotive industry in this country.
Yes, sir.
You were talking about jobs. You were talking about jobs, and I agree.
Would it be easier if
good. I was afraid I wouldn't get to talk. You were talking about jobs. They're very important. I agree. But if our republic does not survive, jobs are academics. And I believe that Obama has fundamentally changed our country already. And I'm getting upset about it. And you can laugh if you want to, but I'm upset about it. And this super Congress thing is unconstitutional. All you got to do, you don't have to be a constitutional lawyer to read the Constitution. That it needs to be upheld. And this Council of 13 with Obama and the 6 Democrats, 6 Republicans is abhorrent and an abomination. And we need to pass a law or something to get that undone ASAP.
You the man. You the man. Write your name down so I can make sure you get this.
prevention of, his question deals with importation of medication from Canada. And you mentioned there's a bill in Congress, there's a bill in Congress to prevent that from happening. I'm an advocate for individuals making responsible decisions, and as long as there's a healthy alternative for an individual, I believe that you should have access to that and no one should stand in your way. Now, certainly there are times when there are those who want to take advantage of Americans who are trying to make good decisions and buy their medication. We want to make sure there's protective measures in place there so that someone's not taken advantage of. But you'll find that I'm one that sides with the ability of Americans to be able to make decisions on their own that best suits their needs, and especially that medical decision between you and your doctor, the patient-physician relationship there not being impeded, and make decisions for the best in your circumstances.
I don't think the guy that was last.
Yeah, I'll certainly look into it. I don't know the specific bill you're talking about, but we'll make a note of that. If Tracy, can you,
That was,
who's got
that's what
time?
pick up. Yeah, you just, I know what you got, and I'm sorry that you got it that way.
Okay, what
But
was your name?
he wasn't laughing, he was just the
fun.
time. I understand, but he was saying, hey.
We'll find out what
he was
that
saying.
is. Okay.
I know, I looked at him.
No, feel free to go to the
I
microphone. It
agree.
might help us
But
hear a little bit better. Yeah, I agree. You done Yeah,
a good
that way
thing.
everybody can hear you.
You ain't hearing me say nothing different.
Yes, sir.
My name is Greg Crowley, and I'm
Huh?
a proud and active member of the
Oh,
Kansas
man.
County Tea Party. And my subject goes along with what the gentleman mentioned a while ago. It's my understanding that the Congress has stipulated in this 12-man party they're putting together that it cannot compose anyone in the 12 who didn't vote for the agreement that they got together. If that's the case, then that means that people like yourself that we elected to go up there and try to change that thing, they're going to automatically rule you out and just carry on what they put up, the sham that they're working with now. If that's the case, is there anything that we can do about that?
Well, and I'm not, I've heard that too. I don't know that that is the case. That may be the thought process, but I don't think it was in part of the legislation, because I agree with what you're saying, and that is those that supported the measure have no priority over those that didn't support the measure. I mean, we were supporting a proposal called cut, cap, and balance, and I think many of you know what that is. 66% of America said that was the right solution. I would say that they need to be putting Tea Partiers on this committee.